Welcome back to another podcast. I'm your host, Victor, with my co-host, Mark.
Yo.
How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic, man. It's cold as shit.
Yep, I can see.
Shite.
I can see. Yep, it is cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. He wasn't lying.
It's freezing. It's windy.
Yeah.
Things flying. Things are freezing. I think the last time I left my house was to go record with you. I'm not going to lie to you.
So I ain't going nowhere else unless I need to.
I said, unless my job say something,
it's going to be
working from home. Okay.
It's going to be at home.
So, yeah. What's new with you, man? Everything cool? You happy living? How was your birthday? What did you do? How'd you celebrate? How do you feel?
Good.
Your knees hurt because of the cold? I hear that comes with age.
Yeah. 26 is a year so far. Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to participate in things as much, you know. I'm just like, I'm too old for that, you know. My church had an all-staff meeting, which is just people who are just kind of like volunteering and stuff, just to go for another type of service where you don't have to worry about stuff and just receive. But they also did like, it was like a Christmas kind of like themed one, so it was kind of like we had some games and they were looking for people. It was all locations, so they were asking people from all locations to join in the game, and I like kind of scooted down. I was like, nah, I ain't doing this. And my pastor came next to me. He was like, that's crazy. He was like, y'all not gonna go up there? And I was like, bro, I turned 26, man. He was like, when I turned 26, I'm like, I can't do no games no more, bro. I was like, I don't know, man.
Too old for this.
Yeah, too old for this. But no, yeah, I mean, for my birthday, prior to when it actually was my birthday on the Saturday, so last Saturday, yes, this is today's Saturday. Yeah, so last Saturday, I went with a couple of friends to the thing downtown. It's called Beat the Bomb. That John was fun. It was interesting. You know, you just kind of walked around and what?
I would have liked to beat the bomb.
We can still beat the bomb, bro.
No, you already broke your beat the bomb virginity. It's too late now.
Sorry.
It's crazy.
I said we could still go.
All the teamwork games we played together, you want me there to beat the bomb with you on your birthday?
We still can. That's the thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue. How was your birthday?
But yeah, it was fun. That was cool. Ate dinner. Went out to dinner again on my actual birthday. That was good. It was also super cold that day too as well.
It was.
But yeah, overall just been chilling. Nothing really crazy. At least not in my life. How's your life been?
It's been all right, man.
You haven't been outside, so I don't think anything crazy could have happened inside unless you were like SpongeBob. And...
I was sitting at home waiting for my invite. It got blown in the wind somewhere, I guess. No, but in all seriousness, really what I wanted to talk about was this assassin.
I figured you were going to mention that.
Yeah, I had other stuff, but then the world just keeps on providing crazy shit.
I mean, like, what was it? They now have a photo of who they thought it was, but they said that
both
that person, huh?
There's two white guys they had a photo of both from.
Okay. Well, I didn't really look like, I wasn't keeping up to it. It was just like what I saw, and I was like, oh, they got something. And then I heard on that photo that that person that they said was they like left New York or something like that. Like that person's not in New York anymore.
Yeah, he's in like Connecticut, which like not that far. Like there are people that commute from there to work in New York, and he made a TikTok, and he was like, "Yo, like
this guy makes a TikTok.
It's not the killer.
Okay,
both photos were wrong.
Okay, I was about to say, bro, this man's bold. He's just like, I did it, guys.
The guy was like, yeah, that's me in the photo, but like I'm not the killer. Like he's like, I barely know how to ride a bike, and like he was like, I know I have generic white man face, but that wasn't me.
That's funny of him to say.
Yeah, he was just like, I understand that I look like the average white male. But that's not me.
He said, look, guys, I know this all seems like it points to me, but it's not.
And even then, if it was that like if he made that video, he's like, you know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, so for him to be out there and be like, yeah, I posted this from my phone. I'm in Connecticut. It's not me. Like, you know, they got it wrong. So that's two guys that they got wrong. But for y'all that don't know who are like not American, I feel like at this point this might be like like international news. I feel like
it could be, yeah. On some level,
I can never tell what the rest of the world gives a fuck about.
Yeah, I feel like in some way, I feel like it could be. I don't think it's something so far off. Yeah. Like I said, it probably won't reach everywhere, but
this is like a multi-billion-dollar company. This is like the fourth biggest or some shit. Like it's like Amazon, Apple, Google, and then United Healthcare, which is wild because the first three like sell shit, and the other one isn't responsible for people's lives. So
isn't it the irony crazy?
Yeah. So like, why is a business like that. Like, why are you turning healthcare into a business to that extent where you're the fourth biggest in the world? It's neither here nor there. That's why that guy got shot. But yeah, so they've been for a long time, and people that I know as well, like United Healthcare as a company is a health insurance provider for y'all that aren't in the U.S. and don't understand that we have to pay for healthcare still. They get a lot of shit. My mom and sister, who are both nurses, they say like, "Yo, United Healthcare fucking sucks." Like I see it every day how like people come to us with certain things and they get denied or they get overcharged and shit like that.
Oh,
so
really?
like United Healthcare as a whole, most people can agree that they suck, and like doctors and others have come out and said like they've complained about it before. This guy was the CEO of that place. He was on his way to a conference with United Healthcare in New York.
Maybe it was to change it, bro.
And they were actually on their way to a meeting / conference to do a merger with another company, which is what the thing was about. I'll get onto what you're saying in a second. But that morning he went to leave his hotel, I believe, and he got shut up outside on security. And that one lady was there. She's like, "Oh my God, what the heck's going on?" Yeah. To say why it happened, well, I'll ask you and I'll give you my opinions, but I'd imagine that that guy in particular knew something or did something that a lot of people didn't like. Because otherwise, why this man?
Why this man? And also, like, who is the guy to do it to then, like, go that far to do it to him? Like,
yeah.
Like, if you're just, like, a random nobody, it's like, it must be a lot for you to actually be like, okay, hey, let me, like, follow this guy. Let me figure out his routine, his schedule, just to do that. It's like, it's very unlikely. So it seems like it's a more, higher up.
Yeah, so the CEO got gunned down in the middle of Manhattan at like 6:30 to 7 a.m., which is also the location as well. It's like Manhattan's a busy, businessy place with a lot of foot traffic. No matter what time of day it is, really, like somebody's out there in some capacity. So that happened. He got shot multiple times. The man was like in a hoodie, jacket, ski mask, all that. Like shot him point blank in the back. And like his gun, in the video, you can see his gun jammed. He unjammed it and then continued shooting and like made sure the guy was dead.
Jeez.
Then he dipped off into a crowded area, changed his clothes, and vanished.
Yep.
And it's been
professional.
What was that, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? It was earlier in the week.
No. That's too.
It was earlier in the week for sure. Like,
Wasn't it?
It hasn't been a full week.
It was a work day. It
was a work day.
Was it?
I could be
wrong. It was like in the. It could have been Monday. Yeah. I know. I feel like it couldn't have been anything past Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I feel like I was hearing about it for a little bit.
Yeah, because Q sent us a message basically being in a group chat he was in. Somebody was like, "Yo, like the CEO at the company that I work for just got shot." And then that's when the news just started flooding in. So yeah, that was crazy. I'll first, before we get into anything else, because I have a lot of stuff to say that I've been talking about with other people all week. Why do you think it happened? Who do you think did it? And so on and so forth. Let's hear from what you know, because there's not a lot of information out there. Like basically what we just talked about is about what is known. And that the guy wrote 3 words or a word on each bullet that he shot him with.
Oh, I heard about that. I forget what the words were, but yeah, I heard about that.
It was like 3 words that start with the letter D from a certain book. It's like denounce, deny, and something else. Dethrone, something like that. Basically, it's just like some shit.
This man's into fiction.
Yeah, but give your 2 cents.
I mean, why it probably happened? There's only one thing I can think of just like. Again, this is why I think it had to be something that's more like professional, because no random person I think would either go this far to do something like that. And yeah, it could just go off of like he's just a higher up, and maybe it could be some type of disagreement or something going on, and that person, they needed to somehow get him out.
Yeah. I will deny, defend, and depose were the 3 words.
Which honestly, if I seen that and I was like, of course, detectives are just like, oh, what did that mean? What does it mean? I'm looking at him like, okay, he just wanted to write words on it.
No, it's from a book. It's like those 3 words are like from something. They know where it's from.
Well, this person at this point is just giving themselves away.
Yeah.
But yeah, either that to get somebody out of there or just hush somebody up who probably knows something that they don't want leaked out or whatever the case is. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Okay. So you just think it's like he knew something or he was about to do something. So you think it was about him in particular, not the company, or you don't think it was like a disgruntled family member who like got denied? Or
I feel like, yeah, it will probably have to be about him in particular, because like if it wasn't, I feel like and there could have been something else done. But the fact that you want to take out him in particular, it kind of just seems like you're, I feel like aiming for something else more personal, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, he's the CEO is like a high ranking.
Yeah.
It's like not the owner, but like close. Like it's like the highest probably position you could think of. I'm assuming anything higher than that is probably a bunch of board members.
Yeah.
So he could have just been an example.
True.
So like, you know, there's potential there.
Send a message.
I don't think that's the case, but I'm just kind of like putting out the possibilities out there. But yeah, that's solid. I thought myself, I was like, because I talked about it with my parents, and they're just like, yo, like who could have done it? I was like, one, they're not gonna find this guy. That's number one.
Why do you think that?
Because I think whoever hired this man to do what he did has enough money to make sure that he can pay off whoever he wants to make sure that like he doesn't get caught. There's no way that this was just a one-man operation, anything like this is not some guy who was upset. He doesn't have a personal relationship with this guy.
So you think they're going against Jason Bourne?
Basically, like John Wick, Jason Bourne, Agent 47 level shit.
Okay.
Legitimately, like a paid hitman. Like this, I'm not trying to be funny.
It's Jason Bourne.
So yeah, I don't think that they'll find him, and if they do, it'll be because they want him to or something like that. Like it's not. This is all like. This is too much money involved for this to be like a like just some random bull who's like he picked a random guy.
Exactly, but do you think it's too much money involved to where they just think like, oh yeah, they won't try to like not say because I think they will try to find him. Because I don't know. I just feel like the only thing I can see is like what this guy's going to do to make sure that he doesn't get caught is that he's paying somebody who is, I don't know. I guess there could be somebody who's involved in America, but I just think for some reason, like it has to be maybe somebody who's not like an American just because like it's the only way. I feel like he'll be safe if he leaves the country, technically.
No. So I don't know all the details, but I will say it's definitely somebody who's like a part of all that. This like with either within United Healthcare or within one of the businesses they were about to merge with them or something like that. My guess is either A, the guy had some information or knew something that he was about to like whistle blow out, like push it out there, like he was about to confess some things that they didn't want to get out. Or two, something along the lines of that he was going to get away of the merger and there were some things taken care of. Similarly to the sense where like you think about the stuff with Boeing where the guy was like he went on the stand, said what he had to say about Boeing, and then he got home or he left for like to grab lunch and he died in his truck. He just randomly committed suicide in his truck. So somebody with a lot of money paid this guy to do this job. I don't think the guy who shot that CEO is paying anyone. I think a part of it was, we'll pay you to do this. We will ensure your safety if you do this. So
I just don't think he's that much professional though. His gun jammed. Professional wouldn't let that happen.
That's just a weapon thing. And also like
I don't know, man.
Also it's another part of it where if you get so obviously I'm not a fucking hitman, but where you get your supplies from, you're probably gonna get it from somewhere where it can't be traced.
That's true.
So if you're gonna
but then again, he did put words on the bullet.
Yeah, but that's again, somebody else could have done that. Like that, there's a lot of layers to it. Because if that was so simple, he would have been caught by now. They would have had prints. They would have done whatever.
Exactly. This is true, which is why I say they could catch him. Whether or not they want to is up to them.
That's another thing else, that the people that with enough money are paying the people around to ensure his safety, whether that be police, government, CIA, whatever you may be. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
But I just also think that like something like this is so big that I feel like, but then again, there has been other big things that have just been like brushed under the rug. And it's just like, even if the person is worth a bunch of money, you're just now bringing conspiracy theories now. And that's usually where they come from, because stories that you feel like, okay, yeah, this makes sense to somebody should figure out who it was. And you're just like never found out. And it's like years that go by. So,
or further from that, this person knew something or something was about to get out about this person that would involve other people going down with him, which is another part of it, which is like Epstein type shit where he's like, oh, he died in his jail cell. Not sure how. I think he committed suicide. We'll never know. And then it was found out it's like it doesn't add up at all that like he committed suicide. So yeah, these people that paid him are making sure he's good, and we're never gonna find them. Whether do they know where he's at? I think they do. Whoever did it, whoever's involved. I don't think it's that much of a mystery. Because have you seen how the police have like responded to this whole situation? You talk to them in interviews, like there's interviews about them talking about the situation, and all they're saying is how impressed they are with how this guy handled the situation, meaning the gunman. So they're just like, yo, like he did it like a pure, like professional, no flaws. Like he executed it to a T, gun jammed. He did it so calm, remained like cool about the whole thing. He dipped out. Other people who've been like, yo, like I work in this, like I work in criminal justice, whatever that, like they've talked about is like, yo, like he crossed all his like T's and dotted all his I's to that whole situation.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because if it was just a regular, like, if you think about it, it's a regular person who's doing this kind of job, like somebody who's just angry is like, yo, like my grandmother's cancer treatment didn't get covered by the insurance anymore. I'm going to go find the CEO and kill him type situation. If you're a regular guy just going off of anger with no plan, or even like if you think you have a plan, you're there and your gun jams, you're probably freaking out, running away. Like you're not used to this situation.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's been it's been more than 48 hours.
Yeah.
And usually that's the time I was like, yo, if he's gone, he's gone. He could be anywhere right now in the world.
True.
So.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say if they did end up finding him though?
If they did?
Yeah.
Not too sure. I just don't see that happening. And if they do, it's probably not him. They've already thrown pictures of two guys that aren't him. And even in the photos that they're like, oh, this is another thing. They're offering 10 grand for you to help arrest him, or you have to offer some type of help that leads to his arrest for 10 grand. And this man was John Wick, Agent 47, whatever other hitman you could think of in the world.
Yeah, you gotta give
level
me
threat.
At least like 500,000.
So there was no like no average citizen is going to go out of their way to do that. And then the only person in the thing that would possibly have an idea of who it was the woman that's in the video. Have you seen the video?
Mm-mm.
There's like an overhead, like security, like front of a hotel security footage. Jeez. And this woman like coming out of a revolving door, and it happens. And then she just like runs away, obviously out of fear. But this guy had a silencer. Like,
oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that. Yeah, he's professional.
Yeah, he had a full. Like, you see in the video, this gun pistol, long as shit. You see this crazy silencer on it.
Professional. I'm sorry. If you started with that, I would have been like, yeah, no, he got it.
Yeah. So it's not some regular dude.
Yeah, no.
So John, he was done. So yeah, like it's too much going on. And like I was trying to say with the gun jamming, I think that's what I was talking about earlier. So if you have to get something that's unmarked, or something that doesn't under your name, probably some shady situation. Like
unregistered gun.
Yeah, they're probably not very reliable weapons as well.
Mm-hmm.
He also dipped out on a city bike.
Dang, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He said
like it was under somebody else's account. Like every single detail you could think of that could have got him caught up, he's good.
Yep, we're dealing with a professional. He is Jason Bourne.
So who's gonna go out of their way for 10 grand to go and do that?
Yeah, I'm not messing with this guy.
Yeah. It's no point. Even if you get the 10 grand, it's like, what if somebody comes after you?
That's true. I don't want no parts.
That's what I'm saying. Like my dad was talking about, he was like, yeah, like
he said, I'm going out there right now.
No, he was like, I was telling him that about the 10 grand thing. I was explaining to him that situation. He was like, oh, like I forgot who he was talking about. He was like, yo, there's this like drug lord in Mexico that like they offered like the same deal. It was like, oh, if you lead something to his arrest, it was like 10 million or 5 million or some shit like that. And my dad was like, yeah, like there's a lot of people that will like probably go after it. I'm like, yeah, but you're dealing with a fucking cartel head. Like, cool, you got that guy, you get your 5 million. It might be in your bank account, but then the minute that shit deposits, you got a bullet through your forehead because somebody on that ladder is gonna come after you.
That's true, yeah.
You don't deal with those types of people, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not a bitch by any means. You know what I mean? Like I'll fight anybody. It don't mean I'll win. I won't back down from anybody. But I also know when I'm outmatched. I'm not bulletproof. You know what I mean? It could be a 7 foot, 400 pound. Like I'ma still give it a shot. I'll fight dirty. But when it comes to freaking drug lords and shit where people are like army level threats, like I can't deal with that. That's just real.
I want you to know, Vic, nobody called you that.
No, I'm not saying
it's okay.
No,
it's okay, Vic.
That's not what I'm getting at all.
It's not your fault.
No, I'm just saying, like when you think about it, it's like, yo, like oh, I had 5 million. They didn't even say, oh, I'll pay people to protect me. Whatever. Like, no, bro, that's not
There's
helping.
no point. I just think anytime you have to look over your shoulder the rest of your life, that's when you know it's like not worth it.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
It's just no point.
Especially for 10 grand, bro.
Yeah, 10 grand is just, that's not even like a new car.
That's another part where I feel like it's like that's where I feel like it's an inside kind of thing. Because when have they, like, for something like that, this, like, that's a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
You don't think that company could offer more than 10 grand?
Yeah, and I don't also understand why they would only offer, like, why would they only do like 10 grand? Like, because in my head, right, who is the person offering it, right? Like, what's the point of offering it if potentially the people who are offering it are just covering this guy up, you know, in a sense? So that's probably why, you know, and
his salary is millions.
Exactly.
And you offer me 10 grand?
Yeah, it's just, there's no reason to even go for that. It's just like, there's something more behind that to me when I only hear that number amount. And like, what, you're just using me to maybe get caught up, and now I'm inside all this, and now
I gotta
like,
go witness protection. The gunman probably got more than 10 grand.
Yeah.
I could guarantee you he did.
Yeah.
Silencer?
That's 10 grand right there,
Yeah.
probably. The silencer alone is 10 grand. Yeah, it's a wild time.
So point I'm trying to make is I wouldn't be, for 10 grand, I'm not fighting that man. I'm not trying to hold him. If I find him in a random subway or something, I'm not like, oh, I got him. Like, call the police. Like, hell no, bro. And then they talk about 10 grand to get him arrested, bro. They offered no evidence. You see it legit. If you want to recreate this, this is what you see.
Bro, I know that guy, bro. I know that guy.
If you see this vest, it's me. But that guy. You just saw a backpack and this.
Well, you know what that is? That's like in any movie where they're chasing somebody. They go into a big crowd. They see somebody that kind of looks and they turn them around. They're just like, oh, my bad.
It's another boy.
It's a whole nother boy. Looked really different.
Me walking through Manhattan.
Yeah, I found them. What are you doing?
Yeah, like, and they want, well, for that, 10 grand.
Hey, man, you get to live out your movie experience.
Turn into a PI, bro, a private investigator? Hell no, bro. For what?
That's crazy. People actually do that for a living. Like, they literally live their life on the edge, like, every day. That's wild to me, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, every day they in the office stressing. They going down in shady places asking for information. I couldn't do that, bro.
What? For what, bro?
That's
what I'm saying. I'm not a bitch. You not a bitch. But we know our place, man. Don't be sticking your nose in shit that you don't want to be in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You don't want to be somewhere where, like, you got nothing to lose. That's the thing about, like, jail.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, yeah, I won't back down. But these people are just like grade A, level 1, like DEFCON 5 crash outs.
Yeah.
Like, they just like, yo, I'm here anyway. What's good? Like,
true.
I don't give a
it's like, I don't care what's left on the outside. This is like,
I'm cool here. I got all my friends are here.
At this point, all my friends are here.
And they got my back. If you whoop my ass, they coming next.
Exactly. I get my 3 meals a day.
Yeah. I'm custom. I'm already a custom. I got my system.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get at, you know? It's just madness. It's just a crazy thing to think about. Like, so I'm gonna stand on the fact that they're probably not gonna find this guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you agree or like if you still think there's some hope.
I mean, honestly, I think they could find him, but it's whether or not like the people that are looking for him actually want to look for him. Like,
that's where I'm getting. It's like they don't though.
Yeah,
because they're just like glazing this man like nonstop.
They clearly don't.
Tough, bro.
Yeah,
like,
they clearly don't want this man to be found. Then yeah, no, they're not finding him. But if there's actually people there that are literally like day and night trying to crack down to finding the slightest detail to like pinpoint where this guy could be at, what he looks like, anything. Yeah, I think they could figure it out.
Some boy out here is just like, oh wait, take that photo, zoom in, enhance,
turn
him around.
Just looks. Why didn't we do that before? Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't exist. So.
If they do find him, I'll wait for the Netflix documentary because there's no way.
I mean, of course, it's happening.
It's probably already, bro.
It's literally halfway done.
If like by New Year's they're like, the United Healthcare Killer.
They have it halfway done, bro. They literally
with no leads, no nothing.
They literally dropped the documentary on this boy Liam from One Direction within like a week of him like passing away. Like I'm like, how is this possible, bro?
Oh, did they? I didn't see that,
bro. It was on Netflix or something. I looked at it. I was like, bro, how did they even like scoop up all this information and make a whole documentary?
Can you even make a quality documentary that fast?
They somehow did.
Unless you've been like secretly just like investigating him prior.
That's what I'm saying. Like you must have been like a journalist who was just like, okay, this is the only subject person I have. Like this is all I'm gonna go off.
Which
of.
nobody, unless you knew, nobody could have expected that man to die in that way so suddenly.
But yeah, I was just like, when I saw that, I was like, dang, bro. Like it hasn't even been like it was like literally probably one full week, if not like one day after a week. And I was just like, what do y'all have on him?
There was something else like that where it was just like, yo, there's no way y'all got, like, there was something very similar to that where like in a week they had something coming out. I was like, yo, that's wild, bro. Like, even let it breathe.
Like, there was a lot of stuff. And what's funny is that it's usually always on Netflix too.
The Astroworld, Joan.
Yeah.
Astroworld happened in like a week. They had something coming out, bro.
Yeah.
Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah. It was Netflix for some reason. They always have like a documentary ready for something. Like I remember, what was it? The festival, the Firefly Festival or something.
Fire Festival. Yeah.
I remember that. John was a thing too. And they came out. Yeah. There's always something.
They're like coming back with that too, right?
I saw that there's something. Yeah. They're like bringing it back or something. And I'm like,
but yeah.
All right.
How do you feel about, back to the like the United Healthcare shooting thing? How do you feel about, like, have you seen people's response to it? Like most people are generally like good. Like same thing with the submarine people. Is like, yeah, like cool.
I mean, like,
guess what they get? Because so many people have had like bad situations with United Healthcare. Even I know somebody that used to work with, they lost their mom this year because of United Healthcare not covering their insurance like policy.
It is wild. But I will say before anything that I don't wish death on anybody. And I think it's like, it sucks that, I personally say it sucks it happened because like, again, I don't wish death on anybody. Should he had not been like the person as a CEO, and should he had like taken better matters into his own hand to help people that he's clearly making money off of? Yes, 100%. Like
he's like, obviously he was running the business, but I don't think him by himself was like this crazy mastermind.
Yeah,
like,
of course, no.
It trickles him and it trickles down.
Yeah, it's so much more into it, and that's the thing. Like it's like, but I'm saying like as him being that in that high position, he should have like taken some part into like pushing it and like talking to people to get things to go better. Yeah. Clearly, he's not the only one who has like the say on it, but it's like, yeah, I just think he definitely should have said something. And I think like now it's like people will look at that and be like, oh yeah, good, like he deserved it. But at the end of the day, like I'm gonna let you know right now, just because he died doesn't mean anything's changing.
No.
There's just gonna be somebody else who's just gonna fill the spot, do the exact same thing. So which is why I say, even when it goes for anything, even like politics, it's like you can wish death on this person and think, okay, yeah, things are gonna be better now. But it's literally not. There's always somebody there who's like ready to fill in the seat that could probably be much worse, if not just like the same. And it's like you're not going to get anything out of it. So it needs to be kind of more of like somebody within to actually like fix something, like fix the script on it and just like change it. So
I agree for sure. I will say though about that, because you said nothing's going to change or whatever. Within this same week, Blue Cross, I don't know if you've seen this. I might have. So Blue Cross, I believe it was like leading up to this point until they changed their minds, but there was something that came out with their coverage where they were going to limit how much anesthesia their insurance covers by minute. So like if you were having surgery and your surgery was required 2 hours of work, and your insurance only covered you for an hour and a half of anesthesia. So at that point they would just like cut it off, or they would charge you for that last half hour of anesthesia. Instead of before where it was just like whatever you needed to get the job done, you were covered. So they made that, they were going to put that into effect this week. CEO got shot. Blue Cross said, never mind. I was just kidding. You can have as much as anesthesia as you want.
That's Sleep actually forever. Insane.
So
that's
I will say
wild,
that happened within the same week. And McDonald's announced to bring back the snack wrap.
I saw that. That's a big win. Let's talk about that.
I don't condone violence, but sometimes it does bring about change. Sometimes being peaceful don't always work.
I think because, like you said, like they'll just cut it off and like, yeah, he died. That's wild. With just the doctors handling that situation, like because they're not the ones who are making that decision.
No, they hate a lot of like health.
Like that's just wild. Like I wouldn't do it. Like, oh yeah, no, like we actually did it the exact time we needed to cut it off, because bro, like that's wild. As if I'm a doctor doing like a surgery or something like that, and they tell me you got to cut it off, bro. He's done. Like, I'm really supposed to sit there and be like handling somebody who clearly needs like this anesthesia to be in pain, awake, and they could possibly mess up the surgery because you need to cut them off. Like, what does that mean? They just got to be like, all right, close them up. Like, that's all we could do. It's like, that's a time limit at that point.
Well, I'm guessing if it were still to have, I'm guessing they wouldn't just be like, oh, that's it. But they would just be like,
that's how I see it.
They would carry on with the surgery, but then when you wake up, you'd have to pay that difference.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
So like an hour and a half, you're good. You're not paying for anything, but anything surpassing that. Yeah. But if they want that money, they're gonna find a way. Like even if the doctor were to do that, they'd be like, oh, there's no way you guys are doing all these surgeries in an hour or some shit. Like they'll be like, oh,
yeah, I am.
You have to like prove that, or they're gonna have you. Don't they always be like, oh, like we're starting. It is 11:46, and so
don't touch me, I'm sterile.
Yeah. So if they wanted that money, to do it anyway. But I'm glad that they decided to not do so. We're the only country in the world that still had like like not even just pays for it, because like you can still pay for insurance elsewhere, but it's just the fact that it's not accessible to everybody, and to the level of expensiveness that it has. Because like if you I think I found it on Instagram or something. There's like a chart showing like the most expensive health insurances in the world, and it's like most of them are from like the countries that you would think, like the UK, China, Canada, or no, not Canada, because Canada's free, Japan, shit like that, and they're all on that chart, and it's us at the top. But like there's a bar chart showing you like in reference to how the size of it is, and it's like everybody else is like this small in terms of like the price cost, and our thing is like, bro, like this. Jeez. In terms of like the average cost, it's like 10 times more.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get like, I don't know. I have no say in it really, because like I can't be the one to say anything since I'm not in the field. I'm also just like, it's just dumb to me to think that we have to pay that much for a life, like somebody's life. And it's, yeah, I feel like we talked about it before a bunch of times. It's just wild.
It's just capitalism, bro. It's late stage capitalism as well. It just makes it even more difficult because it turns things like medicine into a business.
Yeah, exactly. Which it shouldn't be. It's like you have people who I feel like are clearly and deeply in love with like wanting to take care of people and actually like serve people that way in their life, and like that's like what they're passionate about. And to be on that side and see somebody who's in need, and you have to be the one to tell them like, yeah,
you don't got insurance, bro.
Yeah, like that sucks. I would hate to be that type of person, because I personally also hate just like denying people like stuff like that, denying people stuff where it's like you can tell like they really are just asking for it in a way of just to like help them out, or they like are very sincere about it like that. Obviously if some bull is just like, yo, give me that, I'm like, nah, bro, like, like I'll turn you away like that. But people who are very sincere about needing stuff like that, it's like, bro, I hate to have to turn people away. So for being in healthcare, like I can only imagine, like it's terrible.
It's difficult. And then it's kind of, they're like it's almost like a middleman kind of situation where like the doctor's trying to provide the care, the health insurance is in the middle between the patient and and then say, for example, you're already in the hospital, and then it's like, oh, you've already been in the hospital for X amount of days. We can't cover you anymore, so you got to go elsewhere. It's like, just makes shit so difficult. And then when you try to put a price tag on everything, it just makes shit so strange. Because like, obviously, like you said, like I have people in my family that work in that field, at least like the medical field, and you could imagine it's like, oh, like if we're not paying you, like then we can't help you. Yeah. And then just being like the way that the government works, it stretches across so many different things as well. It's like, oh, if you can't pay for medical, like, oh, kind of fucked. Or it's like food. Like grocery stores in theory are kind of fucked up when you have a entire world that's hungry. Yeah. Just denying people food. Yeah. Or even like same idea as like you think about being a landlord. It's like you're housing, like you're just like charging for housing when there's people that are homeless. So it's just the whole system that we're in kind of fucks things over.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild system, wild thing.
That's why at the very least it should just be something where like, I'm not saying everybody has to have access to luxury service or luxury housing or luxury, but like bare minimum, nobody should be hungry, homeless, or
there should be
unable to receive care. If you want to pay for premiums, then you can pay for premiums.
Just like subscription services, people.
But base level, everybody should be able to have these things so they can be okay, because it just puts more people at risk.
Yeah, it does, and it leads to like worse things. Like think about diseases too. Like that literally can start because people don't have the proper care and to get stuff.
2020.
And then people also, when they see that, they just get their idea where it's like, oh, okay, like I don't need it, I'll just be fine without it, you know. And they're like, oh yeah, well look, see, I'm perfectly fine and all this stuff. And then they think like, okay, like I don't need doctors, I don't need medicine. And it's like,
Yeah, there's also so many people that like delay going to see a doctor for that purpose because they know they might not have the coverage for it. Like there are people. There was some lady. It's just an example. There was some lady who had like a boot and she like never took it off because her foot was so jacked up, and she was just like, yeah, like I feel fine with the boot, so I'm not gonna go to the doctor because it'd be so much more expensive. And they took it off. Her foot was just like exploded. Like everything's just jacked up, and that's because of the lack of access to that.
Yeah.
Like if she were comfortable in the fact that yo, I can go get care and it was not gonna freaking ruin my life. I'm not gonna lose my house because I got all these medical bills or nothing. Then that would not happen. There's so many other instances like that where people have like, you know, maybe visual or like foot or hand or knee or back issues where like they just had access to care. Could probably not be as bad as it needs to be.
Yeah.
But it prevents them from going to do so. So don't wish death on anybody, like Mark said, but the world is looking at this man like a hero. Just because of what the situation is and some of the changes that come about it. It's a little strange. It got some billionaires shaking in their boots because people are cheering that guy's death for like the second time this year. The submarine thing was this year too, right? It was a long year. I think it was.
I don't know.
But yeah, maybe. That was another situation where people were like, yo, like they're billionaires though, like who really cares? Because you can't ethically be a billionaire almost. Like it's almost impossible to reach that level of money without fucking somebody over. Millionaire's different.
Yeah,
billionaire?
That's true, yeah.
I forgot what it was, but somebody was like, I'm going to mess up this math. But someone says like 1 million seconds is like, I forget how many. I think it was like a couple of days, like a handful of days, or like a week or something like that. Whatever. But then 1 billion seconds is like 6 months or something, like something along those. Like it's like the difference is insane. So imagine acquiring that much wealth and not distributing it at all. Like you have enough that like 10 generations below you will not have to worry about a dime, and you still just hold on to it and do nothing with it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I remember when I looked at I remember the saying somebody said like it would cost this is for Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, it would cost him like $1 billion to like end world hunger, and he's just like, nah.
Well, not even that. It was the funny thing of like if he were to walk and drop his wallet, it would have him lose more money to turn around and pick up his wallet than just walking away.
Yeah,
like, it would just
because he makes like 10 grand a second.
Exactly,
shit, yeah.
And it'd be like I remember heard that, and I was just like, that's actually insane.
Exactly.
Like I drop my wallet, I'm scared for my life. This man could like be like, whatever, I don't care. Like,
and a man like that, multiple men and women like that exists, and there are people who are worried about how they're gonna eat tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like,
it's wild. It's a wild world we live in. But yeah, all we can hope for and pray is that 2025 will be different.
All right, guys, that's our time.
Like I said, we're gonna hope and pray that it will happen and be different. I can't say it's gonna happen, but that's all we can do.
All we can do is hope and pray.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Leave it up to God.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You see, that's just hope.
But Mark, where can they find you and get out of here?
You can find me Instagram, MarkyMark. Yeah, just give us least information we can for that hitman. So you know.
You can find our stuff at Real Etc. My stuff is at ETC Victor. As always, links are always in the description. Appreciate you guys for watching. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Be safe.